love baseball.
Baseball, baseball.
94.5 The Peak presents Wasatch Wasp Baseball on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. This broadcast is powered by Guild Mortgage, Dairy King, CarQuest Auto Parts, Physical at the Fit Stop, Wasatch Back Flooring, Napa Wasatch Auto Parts, Heber City Point S, Dorius Dental, and Bank of Utah.
Baseball.
The guy on first. Who? The first base. Who? The guy playing first.
Who is on first?
I'm asking you.
Now let's go live to the Diamond for play-by-play coverage of Wasatch Wasp Baseball on 94.5 The Peak.
Hello and welcome to the ballpark. This is Saturday afternoon. This is Tyler Baird and Tyler Moss live on 94.5 The Peak and HeberValleyRadio.com. It's officially state tournament time, and for the second straight year, the Wasps will host a three-game series here at Wasatch High School. The Wasps are set to take on Tooele. Game 1 will be today, and then Game 2 will be on Monday, and if necessary, Game 3 will be on Monday as well, following the first game, which will be at 1 o'clock on Monday.
Yeah, obviously hoping that Game 3 is not necessary here, Tyler. Wasatch would love to get through this series in 2 games or less, save some pitching, because the opponent, if you win this series, is in a bye week here. They don't have to play, and so their pitching will be completely fresh. And baseball is really cool how they do their state tournament. You can't say who they're going to play necessarily in the future because they'll reseed after every round. So you really got to earn it. You can't get just a favorable bracket matchup
I'm not
because
sure
they'll
the admin
reseed.
would agree with you that this is a cool situation.
Not this week.
Figuring Tooele had to schedule a bus and had no idea where they were going yesterday, before they played. But
Well, yeah, so they win the game about, 6 or 7 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and then you got to decide
Well, you
where
gotta
are we
wait
going in 12 hours
You
from
got
now
to wait for all
across
the
the
other
state.
scores to come in before you can decide that, too.
And not to mention, I thought you were talking about Wasatch, which has a unique week coming up. They've got graduation next Thursday, and that's when most of these state tournaments are supposed to take place. You'll have track state going on, baseball state going on, softball, and potentially lacrosse. If baseball and lacrosse advance, they'll be playing on Thursday, which is graduation day as well. So you're right. I thought that was what you were referring to as far as the admin not being happy about it. You
Just talking about
getting a bus and going the next direction.
It was funny. On Friday, we were sitting, me, Coach Jacobson, and Ryan Bishop. Me being the head coach last year, kind of knew the situation. So they called me out of class, and we were sitting there talking about, all right, who are we going to play? Where are we going to go? What's going on? And I kept telling them, we don't know. We don't know until 6 o'clock tonight anything that's going on. And it's a stressful time because we just had Coach Foster here, the athletic director, and he was just sharing Wasatch will play here on Monday, lacrosse will play on Tuesday, boys lacrosse, soccer will also play on Tuesday. Then you have the girls playing here on Thursday, which also happens to be graduation day that same day.
Mm-hmm.
We're figuring Wasatch will be playing on Thursday as well, baseball. It would be a
But
huge
softball
surprise.
did that last year. They had a home game on graduation last year as well. It was kind of easy. It's when you're playing on the road, as baseball will likely be doing.
The short story is you've got 5 sports, not to mention boys and girls track going on as well, that are all happening right now. Tennis is going. There's so many things going on, and you have to plan a graduation, and you don't know where you're going to be playing on Thursday. So it's quite the thing that's going on right now.
Yeah, it should be exciting. But Ty, this is the event that we're excited for here. Obviously, with this broadcast is baseball. Wasatch's opponent is Tooele, which there is a little history back from when these guys were in 3A together, but they really haven't faced off against each other in quite a while. But I think if you're Wasatch, looking at the potential opponents, this is one that they would kind of hope for. I think they liked the idea of this matchup, but it's not just a easy win here, Tyler. As you look across the board at this Tooele team, how I would categorize them is they want to keep it low scoring. They want to pitch it and keep it close at the end and try to take advantage of some Wasatch mistakes, potentially with maybe some walks or some errors. This team, it would be highly unlikely that they're going to out-hit this Wasatch team in this series. Tooele coming in only has 4 guys that are above 300 hitting. Their team batting average, Tyler, is .255, which is really a pretty terrible team batting average when you look at high school baseball. That might not be bad when you get into the higher levels of baseball, but in high school baseball, you really want your team to be above 330, 340, 350 if you're going to be a real contender on a team batting average. In comparison, Wasatch has been at 352 in that range for most of the year. And so this Wasatch team has a lot more firepower at the plate. In fact, there's only 4 consistent guys on Tooele that are even above 300 that are consistently in the lineup. The 5th guy that seems to be in there consistently is down around 230. He must be a catcher or somewhere in that range. But this Tooele team is not... They would have to catch lightning in the bottle at the plate here. And when you've got Jackson Bolender going on the mound and then Jackson Kelson set to go right after, that's a really tall order for Tooele. And so if it's all right with you, Tyler, I kind of want to jump in after analyzing the stats, to a quick Country Gardens and Nursery key to the game here. For me, it's really simple when you look at those numbers. If you're Wasatch, you have just got to play clean. This team does not have the firepower to beat you unless you give them the chance to beat you. No errors, no walks, just get on the mound, throw strikes, let your defense play behind you, and this team should be able to get it done. You're over here just chuckling. Tyler, are you going to explain to our listeners why you're chuckling?
Let me give some credit where credit's due. The stats that you brought up, Tyler, brought to you by the Gordon Law Group. Your full-service local law firm practicing in all areas of the law. They take pride in saying, yeah, we do that. And having done in and out as a coach where you're hitting, when you get hit
it can
and
be a
then
war zone.
almost hit, and then your other guy gets hit between the legs during the in and out, there happens to be times when the head coach throws the bat because you get a little frustrated, and that's what just happened with Tooele. So another key that you could bring up is put the ball in play, because I don't know if this team can defend if you put the ball in play and make them make 21 outs. Your keys to the game brought to you by the Country Garden and Nursery, your only one-stop shop for everything garden and yard related in the Heber Valley. We want to remind you that you're listening to the Dairy King pregame show. State tournament baseball action today here at Wasatch High School. The Dairy King is winners of Best in State from 2008 to 2021, proudly serving the Heber Valley since 1946.
It sounded like you were rolling into confession mode. You going to admit how many fungo bats you've broken in and out over your high school career from poor in and out performances?
If you come into my room, part of my decorations are the broken bats, and they're not because I was hitting with a bat, nor did a pitcher break it, but just me. You know, I mean, Bo Jackson gets a lot of credit because he'd break his bat over his knees. I did it 3 times in high school, maybe not over my leg, but breaking it on the ground.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories is when you were so frustrated, you just turned and wailed the bat last year and didn't care who was behind you. It just happened to come flying at me, and that was my vertical was tested to have to jump over that bat that was coming at the shins. And
there's some emotions
happy
that
to
come
report
out.
It didn't hit me when you threw it there, but it's not the first time either.
No, one of my scariest, it still haunts me, was when we were seniors in high school and we lost in the state tournament. And as much as I preach this, high school teenagers are idiots. And so I went and just tried to throw my bat on the ground. And that bat came out at the head of everybody in the dugout. And luckily somebody said duck, and I didn't. I mean, I could have done a lot of that anyway. Not one of my brightest or best moments in my life.
I'm hoping here, Tyler, that you don't need a lot of fungal throwing here from the Wasatch coaches. This is one that they'll be able to come out and take control early on against this Tooele team. But I will say this, Tyler, as I was walking in, Wasatch doesn't have the name brand when it comes to baseball across the state. And when people just look at the brackets and they haven't seen other teams, which is really what happens in the state tournament, you're just looking at names. Tooele's coming in here believing they can beat Wasatch. To them, this would be a favorable matchup because Wasatch is 13-12 on the year. They don't have really a history of success when it comes to baseball. And so what you have to do if you're Wasatch is you've got to take the confidence away early on. You need to go out and just put it on them quickly and shut down that thought process that they have a chance to come win here, because I think if you're Tooele looking across the board, this would be a team that they would think would be a good matchup. But when you look at the recent schedule that Wasatch has played, you don't want any part of this team. This team has been very good over the second half of the season. And the first half where they struggled, they lost 5 games by 1 run to begin the year. You look at where those teams finished in the rankings. You've got the number 3 team in 6A, the number 4 team in 6A, the number 6 team in 5A, right? And these are just good teams that they lost to early on. And this Wasatch team has a lot of ability here and a chance to make a little bit of a run into this tournament.
We want to thank you for listening to the Dairy King pregame show. It's time for the national anthem. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Bank of Utah starting lineup for the Wasps after this.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Your defensive starting lineup today for the Wasp, brought to you by Point S Tires. Think of your Point S Tires as your local tire expert. Each Point S Tire is independently owned and operated by someone who lives where you live and makes sure to give you the right tire at the right price. Starting behind the dish today will be Kelson Stocking. At first base, the junior Cole Zimmerman. Second base, junior Jack Bluth. At shortstop, Carter Bucad, the sophomore. Starting at third base, the junior Chet Wilson. And then your outfield today, Tragan Shaw in left. Crew Erickson will be in center field, and then in right field will be senior Payton Swapp. On the mound today will be the Wasp ace, Jackson Bolender, and an extra Gordon Law Group stat of the day, Ty. 29 and a third innings pitched in region play, 2 earned runs in all of his appearances. That's it, 2 earned runs, a 0.47 ERA during region play, 31 strikeouts in those 21 and a third innings. And I wanted to bring this up and talk a little bit about this, Ty. That last year we saw Jackson, preseason, he was lights out, and region play he was lights out. I'm just pulling up my stats. I'm the Tony Kornheiser of both of us, and I have to write these things down. You just have these things memorized.
Well, you got to get with the digital age, Tyler. You got a computer in front of you that will keep track of all this for you as well. Two
things, but last year, 52 and a third innings pitched with a 1.61 ERA in the regular season. When we got to the postseason, that 1.61 ERA jumped up to a 6.42. So in the starts that he had in the regular season, he only gave up 12 earned runs in 9 starts, but then he gave up 11 in the state tournament. But I feel like this year's staff has done a good job of pacing him, not overusing him, and I think this is the freshest we've seen Jackson Bolender going into the postseason.
Yeah, and that was a goal early on. Jackson talked openly about it, that they were going to go only about 5 innings or 80 to 85 pitches, and there were a couple games where it was tempting to send him a little longer, but they didn't. They stuck to the plan, and we'll see if it pays off here for him in the tournament.
Your Mountain Refined opening pitch brought to you by Mountain Refined. From design to project completion, our team excels in understanding and implementing your specific lifestyle and taste preferences into your interior design. Come into our showroom in order to find beautiful furniture, bedding, mattresses, decor, and so much more. The leadoff batter for you, the Tooele Buffaloes, will be the second baseman Bird, hitting 300 on the year. Takes ball 1 and now strike 1. 1-1 count now. Swings at the 1-1. It's going to be a ground ball at the middle. Bucad comes across the diamond, throws it to Zimmerman. 1 away here in the top of the first.
It should be a simple game for Wasatch today. Just play clean. That should be the rule. Play clean. Throw strikes. Play clean. You should be in a good spot at the end of this thing.
Batting second, the shortstop, Kolovich. 350 on the year, 12 RBIs. Went 1 for 3 last year against Wasatch. Wasatch did have a 1-game series against Tooele during the spring break, and here's a break for the Tooele Buffaloes. It's a swung on first pitch. Payton Swapp comes in. That ball's going to go over his head all the way to the fence. Kolovich is going to round first, round second, and he'll be in with a stand-up triple. Payton didn't get a glove on it, but misread that one, and Wasatch gives up a triple here in the top of the first inning to Kolovich.
Yeah, right on cue. The broadcaster's jinx, wasn't it? I mean, that's going to go down as a triple in the book, Tyler, but every bit of that's an error in right field as that ball was misread. Payton was coming in, and it's a new angle. He's never played right field in his high school career. He's been in center most of it, left a few games. This is first time in right, and just clearly didn't judge that one well off the bat.
Swung on and missed here to the number 3 hitter, who is also the pitcher. 320 on the year. Bowen did not play in the game last year. Wasatch beat Tooele 8-4 in a 1-game series during spring break in the middle of region play. Cannon Bay pitched that game for the Wasps. Next pitch is swung on and fouled off, so an 0-2 count. In that game, Payton Swapp had a home run and 2 RBIs. Garrett Stauffer had a double and 3 RBIs in the game for the Wasps. 0-2 count here to the number 3 hitter. Another fastball swung on and missed. First physical at the pit stop, strikeout of the game. Physical at the pit stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo and sports injuries.
Well, you got to really like what Jackson and Kelson did there, Tyler, with that third pitch. That you usually don't want to waste pitches early on, but with a runner on third and not a very powerful offense up, they went outside about a foot off the outer half of the plate and wanted to see if Bowen would chase, and he did. You just don't want to give up those cheap runs, especially knowing the scouting report of this Tooele team that they are top-heavy. The first 4 batters are where they do damage, and then after that, the hits are very scattered throughout the lineup.
Catcher now up is Spindler. He's going to swing at the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be a slow ground ball to second. Bluth fields it, throws it to first base. Nice stretch there from Cole Zimmerman. And Wasatch gets out at the top of the first. They give up 1 hit, no runs, no errors in the inning. 1 runner is left on base for the Buffaloes. It's 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the first.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Bottom of the first inning at Wasatch High School. It's 5A state tournament action for the Wasatch baseball team. First inning action brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist, dedicated to your total recovery from sports injuries, auto injuries, industrial and or commercial injuries. Let Dan Ivey and his team get you back to 100%.
Bottom of the first brings us to our Bank of Utah batting lineup for the Wasps. The Bank of Utah's specialty is relationships. One of the nation's top performing banks. We are committed to you and to our community. Visit our friendly Heber branch at 620 West 100 South, and together we'll build relationships that last. Batting leadoff today will be the DH, Alex Gutierrez. Batting second, the third baseman, Chet Wilson. Batting third, Jackson Bolender. Batting fourth, Payton Swapp. Batting fifth, Jack Bluth. Batting sixth, Crew Erickson. Batting seventh, Cole Zimmerman. Batting eighth, Kelson Stocking. And batting ninth, Carter Bucad. So a couple of adjustments going into the state tournament. Crew Erickson not in the leadoff spot, goes down to number 6. And Ty, I don't necessarily mind that. He has 25 runs scored on the year, but only 12 RBIs. Just hasn't had a lot of RBI opportunities. I think that's part of this movement is you have now Swapp, Bluth, and Erickson, who are all very good at the RBI spot, all in a row. Maybe can generate some runs in the middle of the line.
Well, and not to mention, Tyler, I'd say Gutierrez, Wilson, and Bluth all find ways to get on that aren't necessarily hits either. They just find ways on base, and so you get these guys on base and kind of play the money ball strategy here, and then let your guys that are consistently in play try to drive them in.
The pitcher is Bowen, 2.28 ERA on the year, 46 innings pitched. In those 46 innings, 51 Ks, 20 walks, and 46 hits. All good numbers here for the pitcher. He is going to fall down 2-0.
Ty, he's been their consistent staple. He's pitched every week of the year for Tooele. They had their St. George trips where he, of course, got a start down there, and then he's got 9 other starts on top of that, and so he's been their consistent guy. They're in a region that plays 2 games per week, and he's always been the lead starter for Tooele. So this is their top dog that they've saved for this first game of this 3-game series.
Yeah, strike called on the low part of the zone. Moves down to 2-1. Another adjustment in state tournament. Ty, 3 umpires here today instead of just the normal 2. Another strike on the outside corner, moves this count to 2-2. Gutierrez on the year, 367, 5 RBIs, 10 runs scored, hit 333 in region play. 2-2. Swung on, that's going to be a base knock up the middle for Alex Gutierrez, as Wasatch has a leadoff hit on the single by Gutierrez up the middle.
I really don't feel like you can say enough good things about Alex Gutierrez this year, Tyler. The jump he's made between his sophomore and junior year has just been outstanding, and he's just been so competitive in the box. He's really kind of a perfect leadoff hitter right now for what you've seen late on in the season. where he just battles. He sees a lot of pitches, gets to 2 strikes and doesn't panic. Gets a nice little routine base hit up there, up the middle.
He's going to bring up Chet Wilson. Pickoff move, not in time. Chet, 347 on the year, 7 extra base hits, 14 RBIs. Hitting in the 2 spot today. You know, we like to talk about Coach Ballstead on the basketball court and his fashion, the sneakers that he likes to wear. Casey Anderson sporting some all-red catcher's gear today instead of the traditional.
Ty, I think somebody's got to go straighten that boy out in the dugout. That's the rival colors there. Yeah, I noticed that too. I thought, who is this clown there in the Wasatch dugout in red gear?
Chet's going to square for the drag bunt, pulls back, but it's still called a strike, so 0-1 count. Another pickoff move, not in time, over to Gutierrez. So an 0-1 count with nobody out, runner on first. Runner goes, it's going to be a hit and run, goes right up the middle. Shortstop will pick it up, step on the bag, throw it across the diamond, throws high, but the first baseman comes down with it, tags Chet, and a double play gets the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
For those that don't know the history of the Wasatch Park City rivalry and that red color we're talking about, Tyler, when they built the new Wasatch High School back in 2008, this has become kind of a legendary story that the contractors put in the bathroom some red tiles that were in on the wall, and it wasn't all red tile, it was just kind of scattered, and the superintendent said those will not be in this Wasatch High School. Red is the rival color, and he made them come knock them out and put in some gold color ones in the bathroom instead. So when I jokingly say get that red out of the dugout, you know, there's a little history there of Wasatch. And Coach Coburn's got a great story from football too. His first day of practice when a player showed up in red, that's traditionally been the rival's color to avoid.
Yes, and he let that player know forcefully not to wear red to practice. 1-2 count here to Jackson Bolender. Too far outside, moves the count to 2-2. Jackson Bolender's had a good year on the mound and in the box. 477 batting average, one of the top in the state. 10 RBIs on the year. Hitting in the 3 spot today, Payton Swapp on deck. Curveball, first curveball we've seen. It's going to be a lazy ground ball to the shortstop. Shortstop comes up, throws across the diamond, and that is it. Wasatch is retired. 1 hit on no runs, no errors, and nobody is left on base. It's 0-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Back Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Back Flooring and Paints. And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the second inning brought to you by Wasatch Back Flooring. From the words of Wasatch Back customers, from start to finish, the entire transaction was honest, professional, and meticulous. Highly recommend Wasatch Back Floor and Paint. Thanks, Dan, and your team.
Leading off for the Tooele Buffaloes will be the third baseman, Lorado. 222 batting average, 5 RBIs. Was 0 for 2 last year, but did walk and score. He's going to take strike 1. Jackson Bolender once again on the mound for the Wasps. Make that strike. Oh, that's a strike. Go ahead and call it. You were going to call it. Go ahead and call it. Bolender looks at the umpire. Umpire says that's a little bit up. 1-1 now the count. Bolender working quick, swing and a miss on basically the same pitch. 1-2. Good day, beautiful day here at the ballpark. 70 degrees, slight breeze going. Looks like maybe blowing out a little bit, or is that blowing in?
Looks like it's swirling a little bit in, yeah.
The 1-2 is swung on. It's going to be a pop fly down the right field line. Cole Zimmerman.
Oh, I think he got it, Ty. Went into that black tarp. No, it looks like it hit the dirt.
Looked like he got a glove on it, but it was right on the warning track, right up against the fence, and will reset with a 1-2 count.
Kind of goes into that blind spot down behind the dugout, and then they've got this black netting around the bullpen now. Hard for us to see. Cole made a good effort trying to find his hand on the wall, it looked like. Just wasn't able to bring it in.
It's another 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off again. This is the second year that the state of Utah has done the regional, super regional, double elimination tournament, then a 3-game series for the state championship. Last year, on this day in history, Wasatch hosted Lehigh in the first round. Call it strike 3 as that pitch is in there on the bottom of the count. Second strikeout of the day for Jackson Bolender. Once again, your strikeouts brought to you by Physical at the Pit Stop. Wasatch hosted Lehigh, and in the first round came away with an 8-3 victory. Payton Swapp had a home run and 2 RBIs. Garrett Stauffer had 3 RBIs in the game as well. Jackson Bolender threw a complete game and got the win on the mound for the Wasps. Second batter of the inning is going to be the right fielder Davies. .250 batting average, only 1 extra base hit and 1 RBI. He's going to swing and a miss at strike 1. So this umpire's calling the low part of the count, Ty. It's going to make it for, if the pitchers can hit that spot, it's just a tough pitch to do anything.
Yeah, that's down and away, probably a full baseball off the edge of the plate that he's giving him right now, and that should be strike 3 right there, same spot.
Swing and a miss, and then back-to-back looking strikes, and that's a 3-pitch strikeout there for Bolender. 3 strikeouts now on the day. It's going to bring up the first baseman, Schubert, .231 on the year, 9 RBIs, 1 extra base hit.
Well, Jackson's starting to settle into a rhythm, and the good kind of rhythm that you want from your pitcher. Getting a pitch off about once every 8 to 10 seconds here. He's really rolling here. The coaches are doing a good job of getting the signal in quickly to keep him in that rhythm. There's strike 1, already strike 2.
Strike 2, already 2 strikeouts in the inning, and now an 0-2 count here. Schubert's going to take some time to get back into the box. I would too. Sometimes you just know you're overmatched. Here we go, the 0-2 pitch with 2 outs. Call it strike 3. Back-to-back-to-back strikeouts. A 3-strikeout inning for Jackson Bolender. Once again brought to you by Physical at the Pit Stop. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody reached base or put the ball in play as it's 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the second.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strongest approval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the second inning brought to you by Physical at the Pit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years.
Leading off the bottom of the second will be Payton Swapp, .345 on the year, 9 extra base hits, 21 RBIs, 6 home runs. Hit a home run last year in the regional series against the Lehigh Pioneers. On deck will be Jack Bluth, and in the hole, Crew Erickson. 0-0, first pitch in there for strike 1.
You think they know who he is? Definitely know who he is.
Yeah.
Throwing a curveball there to Payton to start off the inning.
He also hit a home run against these guys last year in the 1-game series that they had. The 0-1 swung on. This one's driven to right field. Right fielder going back. He's not going to get that one. So Payton Swapp gave up a triple in the first inning, and he's going to settle in for a double here. Good to see Payton Swapp get things going early on in this ball game. A double for the Wasps, and for the second inning in the row, the Wasatch has the leadoff guy on.
Yeah, second time we've seen a ball hit to right field that was kind of in what you would call the routine fly ball category, but both fielders misplayed it, so Tooele giving that one right back to Wasatch.
Yeah,
see if they can take advantage.
Kind of looked like the wind held that one up a little bit. It looked pretty good off the bat, but the wind is blowing from that direction, but the outfielder out there had no chance. And so now we have nobody out, guy on second. Duck on the pond here for Jack Bluth, who comes in with 14 RBIs, a .380 batting average, hit .396 in region play. Bowen takes a peek, now delivers. It's going to be a bunt, pulls it back off the edge of the plate for ball 1. Catcher. It looks like there's some confusion there. It's going to bring a trip to the mound, brought to you by Mirror Lake Station. Best donuts in Utah. I've got my key lime donut at my parents' house, Tyler. It's sitting there. It's ready for me. This game needs to
I'm
be quick.
surprised you're here. Yeah,
it
I'm
needs to be
surprised you're
quick
even
so I
here
can
right
get
now.
up there. Got some church meetings tonight. This game needs to go quick so that I can go and grab that.
Maybe a fifth inning stretch.
Yeah,
they can bring it over here for you, Tyler, and get you taken care of.
Yeah, hopefully in their car listening, and maybe that's a good idea for them. 1-0 the count. Payton Swapp a good lead at second base. Jack's going to square again. It's off the edge of the plate again. First baseman's crashing. Third baseman's staying. Second baseman is covering. You lay it down that first base or third base side. Jack,
He'll get a hit. Yeah, he'll get a hit if he can do that and execute down the third base line. He's squaring late, Tyler, which in this situation maybe is not ideal because it looks like everyone is planning on you bunting. There we go. He's a little earlier on that one, but
3-0 count now. You got speed back-to-back here. Ty, arguably Jack, with the back injury with Payton, arguably the two fastest guys in the lineup, Jack and Crew back-to-back here in the 5-6 spot. Jack settles in a 3-0 count. Bowen out of the stretch. Comes set. Payton shortens up his lead here at second base. In there for strike one on the 3-0 count. Jack taking there on that pitch. See if he gives him the go-ahead to swing it here on a 3-1 hitter's count. Again, second baseman playing way deep in the hole on the 3-4 side. Bowen takes two looks at Swapp, delivers the 3-1. Bluth's going to swing, fouls it off into the soccer field, moves the count to full. Speaking of the soccer team, Ty, they had their RPI standings come out, earned the number 3 seed overall, received a bye into the second round. They will host the winner of Orem and Viewmont on Tuesday here at Wasatch High School. Provo got the 1 seed, Alta the 2 seed, and then Wasatch.
Well, and Wasatch, a lot of confidence talking to the soccer team, Tyler. They feel like that makes them the favorites since they just beat Provo, and Provo's the one team on their side of the bracket. They feel like they are the favorites to win it again.
Good team at bat here from Jack Bluth with a full count. He's going to put it on the ground behind Swapp. Swapp does a good job of reading the ground ball. He'll advance to third base. Bluth is thrown out at first. So 1 out with Swapp at third base. Now you have Crew Erickson coming up to the plate, and I think this is what Coach Jacobson was hoping for, Ty, was its RBI opportunity for Crew, and he's got it here in the bottom of the second with still no score. Soccer team finished 13-3 on the year, took second in region play. The softball, soccer, and baseball teams all finished second in Region 9. Crew's going to take strike one.
Yeah, spring sports is set up to have a heck of a week here, Tyler.
Well, if I remember right, boys and the girls lacrosse both took region. Is that right? Both boys and girls lacrosse take region, and then second place finishes across the board everywhere else.
Well, and this Wasatch baseball team's in a good position to make a run. Soccer, like I said, thinks they're the favorites here. Track, you've had a couple school records over the last couple weeks in a few of the events. It's a good time here at Wasatch with their spring sports.
1-1 count as the second pitch is in there for ball. 1-1, 1 out, guy on third. Bowen delivers. Curveball, it's going to be a hard ground ball at the shortstop. Shortstop thinks about throwing it home, doesn't do it. Throws out Crew at first base, but it's an RBI. Fielder's choice there for Crew Erickson. He did hit that one on the money, just went right to the shortstop, who was playing deep, allowing Payton Swapp to come in. And Wasatch takes the 1-0 lead. That run brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine.
Let's see if Wasatch can get a little something going with 2 outs now. Zimmerman, a pretty nice bat to have in the 7 hole.
He's going to swing and a miss at strike one. Zimmerman, 310, 3 RBIs on the year, 8 runs scored. Only hit 276 during region play. Hitting right now in the 7th spot, down 0-1 in the count. Second one swung on, a hard ground ball to the first baseman. First baseman can't handle it. Cole's going to try to stretch this one for 2. He's going to get there easily. A nice barrel there for Cole Zimmerman. We'll give him a hit on that one. A double there for Cole. Tyler's kind of shaking his head. It's the state tournament.
It's a little home cooking here, huh? Let's start giving them away.
Well, according to everybody, John Stockton got home cooking. Let's give him some home cooking. That's a double there for Cole Zimmerman.
I thought that was one of those things I'd shake my head no one would see, because we're sitting in the booth. You didn't have to out me there, but I feel like that's a play most first basemen should probably make there, Ty.
Yeah, it was a short hop right to his glove. It wasn't right at him. It was kind of to his glove hand side. He is a lefty there. He is a right hand, so it was at the glove side, just it wasn't able to handle it. Nice job there from Cole, and Wasatch has a duck on the pond again here with 2 outs with Kelson stopping.
I think you're seeing the recipe here, like just some little things. Before the game, when the teams do in and out, their warm-up before the game, Wasatch sent a couple deep to every position. They had about 5 pitchers out there on the mound, and just a lot of action. Tooele only sent 1 to each spot. There's just not a lot of depth at Tooele High School here, and defensively they're not very sound across the board. You've already seen questionable play in right field and at first base from Tooele, if you're Wasatch, just keep putting the pressure on, be in play, and make them make plays consistently.
1-0 count here to Kelson Stocking, the catcher today. 2:27 on the air. Thinks about swinging to that one. Probably should have. 1-1 now the count. Moves the count, 7 RBIs on the year. He finished well. Had a couple of RBIs in the last series against Spanish Fork. 1-1 the count here with 2 outs. Bowen sets. Guy on second base is Zimmerman. Decent speed. Bowen takes a third look. Now delivers. Swung on again to right field, but that one's going to go foul. Moves the count to 1-2.
I like how former Wasatch head coach Mike Scholl says he would keep the book, Ty. You know, he kind of said if there was ever any question,
you give him a hit.
It's a hit to the Wasatch hitter there.
I held a state record at one point just because of that, because of how generous the book was.
So you're saying a little bit of Coach Scholl's worn off on you here is what you're saying.
1-2 the count with 2 outs. Bowen delivers. Stocking swings, protects the plate there. Good protect the plate swing, and will reset after the foul ball. Carter Bucad on deck for the Wasps. Had a good region. Good number 9 hitter right now for the Wasps. The 1-2 to Stocking. Bowen still waiting to get set, taking his time getting the sign. Now does. Cole Zimmerman's got a good lead at second base. Gets a little bit bigger. Now a great secondary. The 1-2, it's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Shortstop comes over, scoops it up, throws it across the diamond. In time, shortstop forward Tooele having himself a day already. 5 ground ball putouts for the second base for the shortstop. But Wasatch does push one across. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors from Tooele, and 1 runner is left on base. It's 1-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City. Stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the third, brought to you by your local Napa Auto Parts store. Your local Napa stocks auto parts, tools, and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today. Wasatch leads 1-0 after the RBI from Crew Erickson and Payton Swapp, who doubled to lead off the bottom of the second and then eventually scored on the ground ball from Crew Erickson. Jackson Bolender right now 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. He's got 8-9-1. The lead off this inning will be the center fielder, Palmer. He's going to swing the first pitch. Ground ball to Jack Bluth. Bluth scoops it up, throws it across to Zimmerman. 1 away on 1 pitch. Palmer only hitting 200 on the year, was 0 for 4 last year against the Wasps. And he'll ground out on the first pitch. It'll bring up the left fielder, Dean. 214 batting average on the year with 3 RBIs. Softball team, Tyler, 18-8 on the year. They also finished second in Region 9 play, earned the number 5 seed overall. They have a double bye, so they'll get a bye through the regional and into the super regional. Not sure who they will play, but it will be Thursday, May 19th, and they'll host a 3-game series here. Your top 5 in softball: Spanish Fork, Bonneville, UNF Bountiful, and Wasatch. A foul ball and a strike call moves the count to 0-2 here in the top of the third inning. Bolender sets, delivers the 0-2, too far outside, hits the spot. Kind of a pitch where you check to see how far the umpire's going to go out.
Exactly. It looks like he found the limit there. That's as far as the umpire will let him go, but he did strike out 3 guys last inning, working that edge.
Another ground fly ball to right field, and there's a defensive adjustment that was made. They do move Tragan Shaw over to right field. He settles underneath that one and makes the play. 2 away here in the top.
Yeah, all it took was was one play, right, and thinking, all right, that experiment of Payton, let's get him back where he's a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and that's not a knock on Payton. Just right field's a different animal, and there's not many in the state that I would put above. In fact, I don't think I'd put anybody in the state above Pregame over there in right field. It's so nice to have a good, solid right fielder. He's going to get tested again. Another fly ball to the outfield by the leadoff hitter, and Tragan Shaw goes over to his left-hand side, makes the catch. Second straight Wasatch Physical Therapy 1-2-3 inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. It's 1-0 going into the bottom of the third.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Heading to the bottom of the third inning, Wasatch is leading Tooele High School 1-0 in the first game of the first series of the 5A state tournament for Wasatch. Third inning action brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition in Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop.
9-1-2 up for the Wasp. Carter Bucad in his first at-bat of the day. 254 on the year, 11 RBIs, hit 310 in region play. Alex Gutierrez on deck and Chet Wilson in the hole. Wasatch got one in the bottom of the second. Tooele only with one base runner so far in the ball game. Bucad sets, Bowen goes into the windup, delivers. It's going to be swung on and fouled off to the right side.
Carter had a huge hit in that last series of region play, Tyler, against Spanish Fork, the win that Wasatch picked up against the number one Dons. He had the game-winning hits in that one, knocked in all three runs for Wasatch as they got a 3-2 extra inning victory. And there's
nice
another good
single
looking
there,
hit.
tying the fastball on the outside part of the plate. Bucad goes with it. And that's a single. Wasatch has had the leadoff guy get on every inning. A single by Gutierrez, a double by Swapp, and now a single here by Bucad. Good piece of hitting. It's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, Alex Gutierrez, who singled up the middle. Eventually got out on a double play on the next batter.
Carter Bucad, to me, is a great symbol of the patience of this new Wasatch High School coaching staff. He really had a rough start to the year. In his first 7 games, only had 1 hit. He was hitting .050 on the season. And you can get a little anxious and a little tempted as a coach to maybe go away from a young guy early on and maybe let him sit and learn a little bit, but they didn't. They knew he was going to be their shortstop, and he had a lot of talent. And they just kind of rode with him, Tyler, and he's rewarded them later on in the season. He's really come along, and he's letting his talent shine a little bit now for Wasatch.
Ball 1 to Gutierrez. Now a pickoff move, not in time. Bucad, decent speed. Coach Jacobson gives another sign. Alex Gutierrez back in the box. Again, singled in his first one. Another pickoff move, not in time. Give a shout out to the track and field team as well, tied in this last week. Both the boys and girls teams and the 4x200 won region. The boys team consisted of Caden Luke, Josh Sanders, Peter Muslar, and Nalu Kitashima. Bunt here from Gutierrez. He'll lay it down. Pitcher will deliver the ball over to the first baseman as Alex Gutierrez will be called out, but it's a nice sack bunt that moves Carter Bucad to second base and is now in scoring position for Chet Wilson. Chet hit into a double play on a hit and run attempt in his first at bat. Comes in hitting .347. I like Chet in this role, Tyler. Just get into the box and hit one hard into the gap with the guy on second base. The girls' team of that 4x200 meter was Maddie Durant, Liz Houston, Ash Chappell, and Lily Robinson. A low count now to Chet with Bucad on second. Too far outside for ball 1. Jackson Bolender on deck, hitting in the 3 spot today.
So for the listeners that are a little unfamiliar with how the 5A state tournament works, Tyler, this Tooele team had to play yesterday to get into this game. And so they're not coming in necessarily totally fresh compared to Wasatch. How it works is basically they've got a series of brackets. If you're in the top 8, you get 2 byes. Actually, you get a first-round bye and a second-round bye. If you're in the next, so between 9 and 16, which is where Wasatch was at 13, you get a bye into the second round. And then the bottom, 17 teams, they have to play in. Bottom 16 teams, I guess, is where it would land. No, it was 17 because they had a play-in for the play-in game as well.
Yep.
And then they had a 1-game play-in yesterday to get to the 3-game series, which were here. So Tooele had East yesterday, who they beat 8-0, and they did not throw any of their main pitchers in that one. They kind of rolled the dice and gambled to try to save them for this series.
1-2 to Chet is high and outside. 2-2 now to count again with the guy on second base. Hey, you mentioned that play-in game. Timpview and Bonneville had to go to Uinta to play a play-in game.
Because Uinta was the 17th seed.
And the winner had to play Uinta. So
Timpview and Bonneville were the play-in for the play-in games, right? Yeah. But, Ty, there could be worse venues. If you haven't been out to Uinta recently, they've got a fully turfed complex out there for all of their athletic sports. It's a really beautiful venue. It's just a little bit of a drive to get out there.
Full count now as Chet takes ball 3. So full count. Again, guy on second base is Bucad, who singled to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. Bowen, 1 look, now 2. Delivers the payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled off there from Chet. Looked like he was on time there. And will reset at the count being full.
Like to see Wasatch get a little insurance here, Tyler. Jackson Bolender looks great. There's not really a threat from Tooele right now. But when you keep it within 1 or 2 runs, it allows the pressure to still be there defensively to play perfect. You're not allowed maybe a miss or 2 on the mound. And you want to try to break this thing open a little bit early on so that Tooele doesn't have the chance to maybe sneak across a couple cheap runs.
Chet will take ball 4, so the payoff pitch is too low. And Wasatch now has 2 guys on base, first and second. Card Bucad on second, Chet on first, and Jackson Bolender up for the Wasps.
Well, last time Jackson was up, Bowen was able to get him to roll over an outside pitch. He tried to pull, see if Jackson can be a little more disciplined and try to hit that right center gap, which is pretty wide open for him right now.
Yeah, he likes to hit that spot as well. He's going to swing instead. He's going to pound it to the 5-6 hole. Jacobson's going to send him. No, he holds him up. Probably a good decision there. As amazingly an outfielder fielded the ball clean out in the outfield. We got to get on Parker. He's watering this. He's making it look too good. That's a home field advantage.
Pinball's a little bit out there for him, and that one did hop up, but it hopped right to the glove. That ball was demolished, Tyler, off the plate.
Smoke. That's going to bring up Payton Swapp with the bases loaded. Swapp doubled to right field in his last at bat. Again, comes in hitting .345, 10 extra base hits. Speed up runner comes into the game. Zach Burdett will come into the game to speed up. Recently got the call up from JV ball to Varsity. Sped up at Spanish Fork and is going to speed up today. Jack Bluth on deck, Swapp in the box. Bowen still working out of the stretch. Corners will be playing in. Middle of the infield playing back, double play depth. Already 1 double play in the game for the Buffaloes. Ooh, ball on the inside, and it's called a strike. Swapp thought that might get him.
Twice they've come at him with a first pitch curveball, though, Ty, on Payton, showing some consistency there. Payton with a good swing last time he was up.
Bowen's going to step off, pats his chest, didn't get the sign there from the catcher. Chet Wilson at second, Burdett at first, running for Bolender, and then Bucad at third base. This one's in the dirt. Catcher does a good job of smothering it. Bucad will retreat back to third base and will reset with a 1-1 count.
Cool little P-51 flying overhead right now. Tyler, flyby is a little late. National anthem was a couple innings ago. That would have been perfect, though, there with that
Top Gun
airplane coming by.
Maverick tie, a couple of weeks.
It's a little different than a Top Gun plane there, but
1-1 swung on. Payton just missed that one. It was another curveball, but he fouls it off, moves count to 1-2.
Had to wait, 2.5 years for the release of that movie? It was supposed to come out pre-COVID.
I feel like I've watched enough trailers that I've seen the whole movie already.
See if Payton get on time here.
We watched it yesterday, the trailer, and my wife asked me if she got to go with me to that one, or is that a guy movie to that one?
What'd you respond?
I don't know what I responded. 2-2 now the count. I think she said she could come. We've got a daughter that can babysit now, so we all of a sudden can go on dates again. 2-2 with one out, bases loaded for Swapp. Jack Bluth on deck.
Pate's had 8 days since the last game trying to recover that back.
Yeah.
He's been struggling with a back injury for the last few weeks.
Doubled in his first at-bat today. Bowen sets, delivers the 2-2. Curveball, and that's going to be a base knock up the middle. That's going to bring in one run for sure. Center fielder was playing deep. Chet's going to go ahead and come in as well. A 2 RBI single with one out here in the bottom of the third, and Wasatch takes the 3-0 lead. Those runs once again brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist dedicated to your total recovery from sports injuries, auto injuries, industrial and or commercial injuries. Let Diane Ivey and his team get you back to 100%. Another two-strike swing there from Swapp going up the middle, and I think that's how you got to beat Bowen, Ty. He kind of can mix up pitches, doesn't throw hard, focus on going up the middle, and that's what Wasatch has done in this inning.
Yeah, he's a high 70s fastball, and then he'll throw a lot of breaking pitches to try to get you to roll over. He's got enough velocity to keep you off balance, and that's how he wants to get you. Is getting you to roll over, ground out to the shortstop. As 5 Wasatch hitters have done already out of the 7 outs.
Yeah,
but this is a big opportunity for the Wasps here.
And interesting in this inning, Ty, you talk about right field, sack bunt, and then up the middle. Shortstop hasn't seen a ball this inning, so it looks like Wasatch the second time so far has been able to make the adjustment and keep the ball from that rollover zone. 1-0 the count to Bluth. Couple looks here from Bowen. Now delivers. Too far outside again, 2-0.
Well, so far this inning is kind of how Coach Jacobson would have scripted it. You know, when you write in your lineup, your 4, 5, 6 hitters are your RBI guys, and Payton coming through with the bases loaded, a single. See if Bluth and then Erickson's the change. He's been leading off most of the season. Now drops him down to the 6th hole to try to get some runs batted in, and we'll see if this move from the coaching staff will pay off.
2-0 pitch. Jack behind it a little bit as he'll foul it off to the Tooele dugout. Moves the count to 2-1. Gravity Coalition offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Heber Valley. Sponsors of our extra base hits. Payton Swapp with the double, and Cole Zimmerman with the double today. 2 extra base hits for Wasatch so far in the game. They currently lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the third, but still some runs out there, Ty. First and second, still with only 1 out. 2-1 the count here to Bluth, hitting from the left-hand side. Curveball, he'll swing at this one and foul it off once again over into the boys' soccer field. Mentioned that the boys and the girls lacrosse teams finished their seasons with region championships. Both the boys and girls end up region champs. The girls earned a bye through the first round. They are number 3 overall in the RPI standings. And the boys' lacrosse team will be hosting Highland on Tuesday here at Wasatch High School. And there's some funny history around that one. I don't know if the admin would agree that it's funny history, but there is some history there between the boys' Wasatch lacrosse team and the Highland team, and that's funny that they get to play in the first round. That's what's funny, that they get to play in the first round. Dating back to last year, I think
if you get Ryan Bishop specifically on here to talk about that, Tyler, he may have some different thoughts having to deal with a lot of that last year. That really turned into a big ordeal as well at Wasatch. There were protesters up outside the school at one point. Pretty crazy situation.
Full count, pitch goes back to the pitcher. They are going to get the runner at second base. They're going to say that that it was on the transfer that he dropped the ball. Pretty good play from the pitcher. I thought he was going to be going to first base. He picks it up, fires it to second, gets the runner out at second base. The shortstop dropped it on his way over to first. So 2 outs with runners on the corners after the fielder's choice ground out from Jack Bluth. Crew Erickson had a nice barrel that went right to the shortstop in his first at bat. Did bring in the first run for the Wasps. On deck, Cole Zimmerman, who doubled in his first at bat. First to third move, he had Jack Bluth leaning. Jack has to scamper back to first base, does so just in time, but Jack looked to be in motion there.
Yeah, that's a nice job from Bowen there, Tyler, just to keep him off balance. A good throw certainly has Bluth out.
Another pickoff move, not in time, back to first base. Wasatch again with runners on first and third with Crew Erickson at the dish. 388 coming into today with 12 RBIs, has scored 25 times this year, leads the team in that category. First pitch of the at-bat, swung on, fouled back for strike one.
That was a good swing, though. Crew was on that ball. It was a little bit on the outer half of the plate, but his discipline and his swing was to try to drive that ball up the middle, not try to pull off of it. And that's how Bowen, again, has been getting outs. He's been getting the Wasatch hitters to pull and roll that ball over. Crew a little bit more disciplined there. Just missed it. Fouled it straight back.
Another pickoff move, third of the at-bat over. Try to get Jack Bluth, who gets back easily. Crew hitting from the right side. The 0-1 swung on a little bit closer, but still foul down that right side. Moves the count to 0-2. Count, 2 outs.
Good pitch to go on here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jack in motion.
Jack does not go. The 0-2 swung on. This one's driven to right field. Right fielder goes back, makes the catch. And that will do it here in the bottom of the third. But Wasatch puts together a good one. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors for Tooele in the inning. And 2 runners are left on base. Wasatch leads 3-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process. And it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Dorius Dental offers no surprises of dental treatment with Doctors Dorius and Proctor. Let Dorius Dental make your mouth smile. Learn more at DoriusDental.com. And it's time for a 4th inning Dorius Dental scoreboard update. Wasatch scoring 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and that has extended their lead 3-0 over Tooele right now in the top of the 4th inning. First game of the 5A state tournament for Wasatch today.
Going to be a ground ball to the 5-6 hole and squeaks through. That's the second hit of the day for Kolovich. He had a triple in the 1st inning and now singles through the 5-6 hole. And Tooele has their first leadoff guy on of the game. It's going to bring up the number 3 pitcher, Bowen, 320 on the year. Struck out in his first at bat. Has a runner on. We'll see if Tooele decides to play a little bit of small ball. Down 3 here in the top of the 4th. Bolender sets, takes one look, delivers. Fastball, strike 1. Nice spot there on the low outside corner. Ball almost got away on the way back from Stocking. Ty, we've talked about the success of the spring sports. We forgot to give another shout out to the girls golf team. First ever region championship and also advanced to the 2nd day of the state tournament for the first time ever. They end up taking 7th overall in the state.
Yeah, and a lot of underclassmen on that team as well. They could have a pretty bright future ahead for themselves.
1-1 as Jackson Bolender misses on the 0-1 pitch. Pausing the action, tennis is also going to their state tournament. First singles, Beck Neuenberger is the number 12 seed. Number 3 singles, Brady Peary, the familiar name from basketball, got the number 11 seed. There is going to be a bunt. Jackson Bolender's going to bounce off. Thinks about second base. He'll just throw it over to first, so it's a sacrifice bunt there from the number 3 hitter. That's a sign of respect for the pitcher when you have a 3-run deficit with your number 3 hitter up, lays down the bunt, and gets a duck on the pond for Tooele. And you just got to take them when you can if you're going against a Bolender pitcher.
Yeah, Wasatch choosing to play conservative there, probably the right move with the 3-run lead. Jackson, if he turns and fires that ball, he's probably going to have Kolovich out at second base. But he kind of pumped and then caught himself and decided to check it down to first base and take the sure out.
Spindler grounded out to the second baseman his first at bat. He's now 0 for 3 going back to last year against the Wasps. Currently hitting .340, playing catcher today. He'll take strike one. Tooele wearing gray pants with a purple top. Wasatch wearing white pants with a black top today. 0-1. Pitch. Kind of a check swing, strike two. Moves the count to 0-2. I think Spindler's asking, are you calling that a strike or are you calling me swinging at that?
Well, it looks like it's right in that zone where the strikes have been called, so I think that's just a called strike. Can't hear the conversation from the umpire.
0-2, 1 out. Runner on second for Tooele. The pitch. Swung on, and that's a hard ground ball or a hard line drive. It's a base knock through the 3-4 hole. Traegen's going to come up. Runner had to pause because Cole Zimmerman almost came up with that. So we'll keep the runner at third base. Runner does not come in, but a nice single there from Spindler. And this is the first 2-hit and 2-base runner inning for Tooele in the ballgame.
Good job from Traegen, though, to get that ball in and have a good throw on line. The coach actually on third base was sending the runner. I don't know if he wasn't looking at him. He had him going, and I just got all excited because Traegen had that ball, and I thought this is an out for sure. The runner turned and stopped. Otherwise, I think that would have been a sure out there at home.
I think that's a good job from the base runner because it looked like Cole had a chance at that ball, and you don't want to get doubled up. And that ball, that was a hard hit ball. First and third, 1 out, two hits now in the inning, and a sacrifice bunt. Called strike one here to Lorado, the third baseman, struck out looking in his first at bat. 222 on the year. Stocking is going to go ahead and call out a first and third defense. Your defense on the infield today, Chet Wilson at third, Carter Bucad at second, Bluth at second, and Zimmerman at first. 1 senior, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. Bolender delivers, swung on, foul ball, moves the count to 0-2.
Jackson's done a phenomenal job this game in the 4th inning, only at 38 pitches. And this is the time where you can start pulling out your best pitches here. Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. You need a punch out here, 0-2, and so you pull your number 1 pitch out. Watching that swing, this particular hitter here in Lovato, he's gone fastball all the time. His hands have been really slow, but that one he was a little bit more on time. He's cheating, so a changeup could get the job done here.
0-2 with 1 out. The pitch, it did go with the changeup, it looked like, but it's too far outside. Lovato doesn't go at it and moves count to 1-2. Start looking at pitch count here, Ty, because ideally you'd like him to be able to, Bolender to come back on Thursday, which he's been getting week rests all year, and so that would be cutting down his rest 2 days. But if you can keep the pitch count down, then he should be able to do that. 1-2's pitch swung on and fouled off over into the freshman soccer field.
See, and that changeup just reset Lovato there, Tyler. That's how the whole first at bat was. He was just fouling balls off to the right side, barely getting the barrel on it. And he just doesn't have the bat speed. A high inside fastball could put him out, or I think you could get him to swing over a changeup here at this point as well.
The 1-2. Changeup, off speed's going to be a ground ball to Chet. Chet's going to try to turn to Jack Bluth. Bluth to first, and Wasatch gets out of the inning on a 5-4-3 double play. Great play there from the infield as Tooele does not get a run in. No runs on 2 hits, no errors. 1 runner is left on base. It's still 3-0 as we go into the bottom of the 4th.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Flooring and Paints. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the fourth inning brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health. Wasatch Behavioral Health was founded in 1967 to provide quality mental health care for all individuals within Utah and Wasatch counties. Wasatch Behavioral Health is a comprehensive community behavioral health center. We offer an array of programs and services for children, teens, and adults.
I want to take a second, Ty, to just kind of take a look around the state for the 5A side of things. 8 teams advance on to the Super Regional automatically. Number 1, Spanish Fork. Number 2, Lehigh. Number 3, Jordan. Number 4, Olympus. Number 5, Cottonwood. 6, Park City. 7, Woods Cross. And 8, Timpanogos are your top 8 RPI rankings on the boys baseball side of things. Cole Zimmerman will lead off at the bottom of the fourth. He doubled in his first at bat to right field, hitting above 300 on the year. He'll take strike 1. Bowen's still on the mound for the Buffaloes. There's a lot of history with Wasatch and Tooele dating back to the 2001 3A state championship. The Wasatch football team fell to Tooele. I believe the final there was 28-24. 4 missed extra points. Both teams scored 4 touchdowns, but Wasatch failed to complete any of their extra points, and that was the final there. And then the very next year, or sorry, a couple years later, the Wasps faced off against the Buffaloes in the boys basketball state championship. Wasatch was trying for their 3rd straight state title and lost to Tooele.
That one, unfortunately, Wasatch was on the wrong end of a Disney-type movie.
Yeah.
Finish there. The Tooele coach had a terminal illness.
Died that summer, I believe.
He
right?
did, and that's not the Disney part of the movie, Tyler, but the run from Tooele. You know, they weren't a top dog at all. They were a very mediocre team, but they got hot in that tournament, knocked off Wasatch in the state championship, and spoiled the Wasatch three-peat opportunity.
3-1 count. A pitch is swung on and fouled off, and that was kind of a sleeping giant Tooele team because they ended up making it back to the state finals the very next year. Just didn't have the regular season that put them in kind of a good seeding spot, but then knocked off the Wasps there on a last-second three-pointer. Full count payoff pitch is too low. That's the second walk of the game for Bowen. And this one puts the leadoff guy once again on. Wasatch is 4 for 4 in this game with leadoff guys, and this is going to bring a trip to the mound. From the Tooele coach, Mirror Lake Station, best donuts in Utah. The Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies. New owners David and Kristen Wade invite you to swing by and say hello this season at Mirror Lake Station in Camas. Let's go through the matchups that are being played today, Ty. In the 9-24 matchup, Orem is taking on the Box Elder Bees. In the 10-23 matchup, Bountiful is taking on Stansbury. In the 11-22, Murray and Maple Mountain. That's one that you could probably think could maybe be an upset there.
And that one's intriguing because if Maple does get a win, I feel really confident that the 19 is going to beat the 14 here, Tyler. I think that would not be a surprise to me. Springville taking on Viewmont in the 19-14. And why that matters is they reseed after. So Spanish Fork sitting at number 1. If you go straight chalk, as they call it, they would get Skyline.
Yeah.
But I really do believe Springville's going to win, so that'll set Springville to Spanish Fork, which is a tough draw for Spanish Fork.
Oh, no, that was
he
fair.
missed that.
Oh.
That umpire at first base called him safe.
Interesting. So
they need to appeal.
Yeah, so this was a bunt by Kelson Stocking. It was going down the line. The first baseman, I think, thought that he fielded it foul. The home plate umpire called it foul. The first base umpire did not. But we are going to Coach Jacobson's going to come and talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can reverse this here, Tyler, because he called it dead before the runner was to first. I don't know the rules here. Would love to get Brandon Wilson on the horn.
Yeah.
He's actually got the Viewmont-Springville game here today. He's heading down there to do that one as an umpire. But I do believe, and it looks like that's what it's going to be, since he called it foul. There's really nothing you can do to reverse that.
So an 0-1 count with nobody out, a runner on first. To round out the other matchups, Salem Hills is taking on Northridge in the 12-21. You talked about the 14-19 Viewmont and Springville. 15 and 18 is Brighton and Payson. And then Uena is traveling to Skyline in the 16-17 matchup. Slash and run attempt here from Kelson Stocking is fouled straight back. And now an 0-2 count with nobody out.
Boy, and they had what they wanted there. Third base was coming hard. Shortstop had vacated early to go over to second to cover on the run, and that left side was wide open. Just couldn't get the ball quite in play.
0-2, nobody out. Pickoff move not in time. Again, Zimmerman led off the inning with a walk. Second time he's reached base today after a double back in the second inning. Bucad on deck.
Why watching those lower brackets that you just went over, Tyler, matters. Looks like we're going to have another foul ball out of play. Why it matters is you've got 4 potential games that could change where Wasatch goes in the next round. Wasatch at the 13 seed. If any of those seeds above Wasatch lose, so the 12, 11, 10, or 9. So basically you would need Orem to lose at the 9, which they're not likely going to Box Elder. 10, who was that? That was Bountiful and Northridge.
Bountiful,
and I think
and
it was
Stansbury.
Stansbury there. And so, again, that's a long shot. You don't think that's going to happen. But then you get to that 11 with Murray and potentially Maple Mountain. That's one that could happen. If Maple wins, then that would push Wasatch from the 4 seed down to face the 5 seed. So if everything goes straight according to plan, they would face, that's a tough call on Kelson, a check swing strikeout there, Ty.
Yeah, that pitch was way outside. Good pitch from Bowen. He had pitches. It was a 1-2 count, and he kind of wasted a pitch and was hoping that Kelson would chase it, and he did. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
But just to finish this thought, I guess, real quick, you don't anticipate that Salem Hills is going to lose that series. And so really the one you're looking at is potentially Maple Mountain beating Murray. And if that happens, Wasatch would drop from the Olympus matchup down to Cottonwood. If somehow 2 out of those teams we just talked about get a win, which is highly unlikely, Wasatch could actually drop down and face Park City, which I think would be very preferable to this Wasatch team. They'd love to have another crack against Park City if they could.
Zimmerman's going to go on the first pitch of the at-bat to Bucad. The pitch is high. Bucad swings and misses, but that's just to protect Cole, and Cole's in there with a stolen base and a duck on the pond with 1 out. I think you can learn from that. Decent. It was kind of a tough pitch from Spindler to throw the guy out, but the throw really wasn't that close, and maybe Wasatch can run a little bit the rest of the game. 0-1 count after the swing and a miss from Bucad on the first pitch. He singled to right field in his first at-bat on a nice hard line drive over the second baseman's head. Zimmerman a good lead, and now a late timeout call from Bucad. Bowen was going to deliver and had to hold up, and that's pitching coach. You don't like to see that.
No, but, the game within the game, speaking of coaches and umpires, I was thinking this umpire maybe is having a tough inning here, Tyler, with the missed foul ball on the bunt. And then that one there that was a little late to award a timeout. But going back to Coach Jacobson, he didn't really push that foul ball too hard, and that's good because this umpire's been really generous to your pitcher on the mound as far as that outside pitch. If you're a coach, you got to pick your spots wisely on when you should or should not get on the umpires. And in this game, this umpire's been helping you with the way he's been calling pitches for your pitcher. You don't want to give him a reason to hold grudges against you. And I think the Wasatch coaching staff has done a good job with that so far on these questionable calls.
1-1 is fouled off down the right field line. We'll reset at 1-2. Bucad an inside-out swing. He went that way in his first at-bat. Has had a couple of foul balls that way now. 1-2, 1 out. Guy on second base. Top of the order on deck is Alex Gutierrez, who has a single and a sacrifice bunt in today's game. Bucad in the box. Bowen taking his time getting the sign from the catcher. Now he'll come set. Takes 1 look. Now second. Delivers the 1-2. His curveball's going to be ground ball to the third baseman. Third baseman takes a peek, throws it across the diamond in time. No, the first baseman dropped it, and the runner is safe at first. So an error by the first baseman, and Wasatch has 2 guys on, 1 on first and 1 on second. That's a tough error there from the first baseman. A good play from the third baseman, looked the runner back, threw it across the diamond in time. Wasn't able to get it. First and second, 1 out now for the top of the order. Alex Gutierrez again already with a single today and a sacrifice bunt. On deck will be Chet Wilson. This 3-man rotation's got the umpires mixed up a little bit, Ty, deciding who goes where.
This is unusual, right? They don't usually go with 3 guys, and they've got to shake off the rust here a little bit, just like players do at the beginning of the season, beginning of the year. It's interesting when you get to the postseason. You kind of look at some of these preseason games and common opponents. Another error here, Tyler.
Another error as he picked off the guy at first base, and there was nobody there. The first baseman was not holding on, Alex Gutierrez, and both runners are going to be able to get 2 bases. Cole Zimmerman's going to score from second, and Carter's going to go from first to third. As just a mix-up there as the first baseman, and you don't have the first baseman holding on the backup runner there. And Bowen just kind of had a brain fart there and threw it over to first base with nobody there, and both runners will advance.
Well, yeah, I don't know if out of the corner of his eye he thought his player was Bucad and Bucad was his player, because Bucad was standing on first, and the first baseman was off where the runner traditionally is, and yeah, it caught everyone by surprise. And That's about the easiest run Wasatch has gotten all year.
0-1 now the count after a swing and a miss from Gutierrez on a pitch on the outside part of the plate. 0-1, guy on third with one out, just needs something deep. Hits a guy's spot there, moves the count to 0-2. Nice college strike on the outside corner. Got some work to do with Gutierrez.
Middle infield's still deep, though, Tyler. All you got to be is in play on the ground, and you should get yourself a run here.
Which is where Alex likes to go. Here's the 0-2, too far up, moves the count to 1-2.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. If you're not familiar with baseball, that pitch there, if you can get it at the top of the letters, you're looking for either a swing and a miss, or that's a very common pitch that fielders or hitters, will pop up to the infield as they can't get their bat on plane. It's a good idea. Tries to go back to that same spot there.
Yeah, misses again, moves the count to 2-2. That's number 75 on the pitch count for Bowen, so he's done for the series. He won't be able to come back on Monday at all, not that they would want him to. The 1-2, nice job of protecting the plate there on the curveball. He'll foul it straight back and we'll reset at 2-2. Bucad reached on an error by the first baseman. Zimmerman reached on a walk. Zimmerman has scored, so Wasatch has scored now in 3 straight innings, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. Nice pitch on the outside corner, but doesn't get the outside corner call, and we've got a full count with 1 out. The runner on third base for the Wasps. Again, Chet on deck. Both hitters hitting from the left-hand side. Gutierrez chokes up the payoff pitch. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning, and Wasatch now has runners on the corner for Chet Wilson.
It's been a tough inning for the Buffaloes here, Tyler, of Tooele, as Wasatch really hasn't done a lot to get a lot of these bases. 2 walks, an error, another error on the pickoff attempt, and Wasatch has a run without a single hit here in this inning.
Little Gordon Law Group stat of the day mid-game. Wasatch, since moving up to 4A, 5A baseball, is 8-9 in state play-in or state tournament games. Another third to first move here from Bowen, not in time as Alex Gutierrez gets back in plenty of time. Last year, Wasatch went 2-2, won 2 games against Lehigh to win that series, and then lost 2 games to Olympus. First pitch of the bat here to Wilson. He'll take strike 1 on the outside corner. 1 out, RBI opportunity here for Chet with Jackson Bolender on deck. Tooele's going to try to turn a double play. Wasatch just turned a double play in the top of the 4th with runners on the corners to get out of the inning. Chet takes another strike on the outside corner, moves the count to 0-2. Thought about swinging at that one, but now falls down 0-2. Wind is now blowing. Is that in? I cannot tell.
It's coming in. It's blowing kind of in towards home and then out towards left field, swirling a little bit, Ty. But it's the type of wind you're not going to see balls jump out of this park right now. It would take a ball being hit about 450 feet to get out of this park.
0-2 is too far outside. Moves down to 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Ooh, Tooele wanted that one.
That's a pretty good spot.
It is outside, and we have now a 2-2 count.
Pretty good spot there. Tried to backdoor the curveball on the outer half of the plate to the lefty hitter.
2-2, 1 out, runners on the corners. The pitch. Fastball, check, swing, foul, and we'll reset at 2-2. Looked like that fastball got in on Chet a little bit quick. See what Bowen decides to come back with here. 4-0 lead for the Wasps in the bottom of the 4th with still runners on the corners with 1 out. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Big strikeout there from Bowen. Gets Chet Wilson swinging. And that'll bring up Jackson Bolender. Grounded out to the shortstop and then singled hard through the 5-6 hole in his last at bat. He's going to need a base knock here to bring in the run at third base.
Well, this part of the lineup has been good for Wasatch here today. Bolender with a hit. Swapp on deck, 2 for 2. See if Wasatch can stay hot here in these in the 3-4 hole.
Bolender's going to swing at the first pitch. It's down the right field line, tailing, and foul. Close to getting that one in play, but it'll be a foul ball, and it'll be 0-1.
Ty, any upset specials that you feel like you can predict here in this 5A tournament?
I like your Springville call against Viewmont. That northern region, we haven't seen anything, right? We have no idea how that region is. Another swung on pitch. It's going to be fouled down the right field line. Moves count to 0-2 with 2 outs. You know, I think we haven't seen Viewmont. We haven't seen Woods Cross. We haven't seen who else is up there. Northridge, who got an exciting win yesterday over Alta, a high-scoring win. So I don't know what they have, nor Bountiful. But knowing what Springville's pitching staff is, I think gives them a pretty good chance to win that series. Other than that, you got a lot of decent names, right? Like you can't expect Orem to lose, or Salem Hills, you know, the Brighton Payson. But that's a 15-18 matchup. I would be surprised if Payson won that one. Mm-hmm. Skyline Uinta is intriguing. You know, Uinta's kind of been a power, has a good baseball program out there. Skyline trying to get on the up. 1-2 pitch is going to be swung on, a ground ball to the shortstop. He'll field it clean, throw it to the second baseman, and Tooele gets out of the inning. 1 run is scored by the Wasps in the inning on no hits. No hits in the inning. 1 error by Tooele, and 1 runner is left on base. Wasatch is up 4-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strongest approval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
Top of the 5th, Wasatch leads 4-0. Guild Mortgage and Tom Stone and his team will help you find the perfect mortgage that fits your situation. Painless, easy. Stop on in to Guild Mortgage today. First pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right fielder Davies. Struck out looking in his first at bat, hitting .250 on the year. Jackson Bolender coming into the 5th inning. 4 strikeouts through 4 innings. Currently sitting at pitch number 43 now as that pitch is swung on. Ground ball to Bucad. Bucad fields it clean, throws it across the diamond to Zimmerman. 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Brings up the first baseman. .231 on the year. Struck out looking in his first at bat as well. Tyler, as you look at the teams that are playing today, any of those teams, so that would be, you know, maybe 9 through 16, 17 that you think has a chance to make a run and do some damage to win the Super Regional, advance to the double elimination round, and have a chance to make a run at the state tournament?
Of the 9 through 17, you say?
The teams that are playing today.
Yeah, there's a few, Tyler, that I really like. This Wasatch team, obviously a little hometown bias here with Wasatch, but they've got the weapons to really make a run here, Ty. I like them in this Tooele series. They're off to a good start here, and then I like them against Olympus. Olympus is they graduate a lot of their guys. Olympus is traditionally up there towards the top, but I think the RPI, my thought here on this is the RPI is it falls in love with certain regions, and it doesn't like Region 9 this year, the one that Wasatch and Spanish Fork, you know, I know Spanish is 1, but you look below that, and there's not a lot of teams. Salem then comes in at number 12, Wasatch at 13. Another strikeout there for Bolender looking, Ty. And so the RPI doesn't really like Region 9. And I think that region that Olympus comes from is maybe a little bit heavily weighted, and that Wasatch and Olympus are a little bit more closely squared up than people may think. And so I think this Wasatch team can make a run. But the other one, because I was just impressed by their pitching, is Springville, and they did get their closer back. DeLamas is back. He's playing now again, and so that's a team that has a chance to make a really good run here, I feel like, both Region 9 teams.
Palmer now up, the center fielder. He's going to take strike 1 and now foul this one hard towards the dugout on the Wasatch side. So an 0-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. couple of teams, Ty, I mean, Salem's always going to be dangerous, right? And that lineup can swing it. And so that oftentimes how you get through a state tournament is you just get hot with the bat, so you got to keep an eye on Salem Hills. And then Carl Hermanson, he's only a couple years away from having a team a couple of outs away from winning a state championship. And so they're sitting at that number 9 spot, and I think they've got a chance to make a run as well. 1-2 pitch is going to be grounded to the shortstop. Bucad fields it clean, throws it across the diamond. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody is left on base. 4-0 as we go into the bottom of the 5th.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Once again, you're listening to the Tom Stone Guild Mortgage 5th inning action. I'm going to throw it over to Ty for a Gordon Law Group game recap.
Well, Wasatch leads 4-0, bottom of the 5th inning here. In the first inning, both teams got one hit and stranded the runner 0-0 after one. Into the second, Wasatch got things going, scoring one run in the bottom of the second inning on a Crew Erickson RBI ground out to shortstop. That scored Payton Swapp, who had led off the inning with a double. In the third inning, Wasatch again held Tooele scoreless, 0 runs as Jackson Bolender was humming at that point. Wasatch got another run on the board, actually 2 runs on the board. Again, Swapp was in the thick of it, a 2 RBI single for Wasatch, who took a 3-0 lead. And then into the fourth inning, Wasatch tacked on one more on actually no hits, a walk, an error, another walk, and another error that Tooele allowed 1 run to score. And that's how we've gotten to this point, 4-0, bottom of the 5th inning. Wasatch looking to add on to that right now.
Pate with a couple of hits in the day, a double in the right field and a single. He's now down 0-2 after 2 pitches. Looked to be a little bit outside. He's going to go with the curveball that time, and Payton Swapp's going to handle that one. That one's going to go to right center field. Payton Swapp's going to try to leg this one out to second base. He's going to have to get in there quick, and he is in there in time. Second double of the day for Swapp. And I can just see Coach Jacobson over there at third base just creeping, as you like to see Swapp looking healthy. He looked healthy on that swing, but you also want to keep him healthy going forward.
Yeah, but I love it. I love that from Payton there. He only knows one way to play. One of my favorite stories of Payton is in practice. If you don't get a chance to see him in game, he's a highlight guy, right? He hits home runs. He's running hard. He's always doing the things the right way. But in practice, he's the same way. He just goes hard all the time, and that's what you want from your best player. And I remember talking to him once, and he said, when I was really young, I didn't run out a ball to first base, and my dad just blew me. I'm out there on the field, and you can't rein in that wild stallion, so to say, Tyler, and you could see it on that play. Really a single that he just couldn't hold himself back trying to stretch that thing into a double.
Yeah, did a good job there. Leadoff guy on. Again, 5 for 5 today are the Wasps with getting their leadoff guy on. Jack Bluth tries to lay down a bunt on the first pitch. It goes foul, so an 0-1 count with nobody out and a runner on second base. Crew Erickson on deck. 0-1 pitch. Another squared bunt, and Jack again, he's just leaving too early, Ty. Having been a bunt guy in high school, you got to see it down before you take off down the line. And on those last 2, Jack was leaving before the bunt was down, and that brings that bat head back and pushes it foul down the third base side. So 2 strikes now to Jack.
Yeah, and he's already got a 2-step lead. Lefty up there in the box. He doesn't need to get in too much of a rush. Just leave that bat on plane. Third baseman isn't crashing. Push it down that way, and you're going to have a hit either way. And Tooele, their defensive setup here is gifting you hits if you bunt it well down the third base line.
Yeah. 0-2 pitch is high and inside. Moves the count to 1-2. Jack did a good job in this situation in his first at-bat. Put the ball on the ground behind Payton. Moved Payton over to third base, and then eventually he was hit in on a ground ball by Crew Erickson. So that's what the goal is right now. Just get Payton over to third base with an 1-2 count. Bowen sets, take one look, delivers the 1-2. Curveball swung on and fouled off there from Jack.
Boy, he saw that well all the way, just missed it. But that curveball didn't fool him at all.
1-2 count, Wasatch on the day, 6 hits. He's been able to produce 4 runs, only 2 walks on the day for Bowen. He's filled up the zone pretty well for the Buffaloes. Wasatch leads 4-0. The 1-2 pitch swung on. This one's going to be fouled into the Bermuda Triangle there on the left-hand side. Left fielder making a long run. Makes the catch. No, he doesn't make the catch, but it's in fair territory. And Payton's going to advance to third base, and Jack will be in at second base. How are you going to rule that one?
That's a double, Tyler. That's a double. That's Evan get it, and he just didn't get there in time. So Jack gets the most unusual double you may see all year long.
Payton had to hold up to see if that ball was going to be caught, so he doesn't score on the double. But now you have runners on second and third, nobody out for Crew Erickson and Cole Zimmerman. Crew Erickson in the box. He comes in with a ground out to the shortstop, but did produce an RBI and then had a good barrel. That was a line out to the right fielder in his second inside corner. 0-1, no outs. The 0-1 hits that same spot, 0-2.
That's a really good job of pitching there. If you're Wasatch getting into the box with a runner on second and third, you're looking for one pitch in one spot in that even count, and the pitcher made a superior pitch. Then you get to 0-1, and then you're in plate coverage. Zone 2 is what you'd call it. You're covering all 17 inches of plate, but again, that ball is on the outer half of the plate, so Crew didn't want to go after it. And just like that, you're down 0-2 on 2 perfect pitches.
Does go too far outside on the next one. 1-2 now the count. The pitch is in there, hits the spot again, strike 3. He's given about a baseball outside, but Crew Erickson's going to go down looking. That's the second strikeout in consecutive innings for the Wasps with a runner on third base and less than 2 outs.
Yeah, that's tough. And as a hitter for Crew there, after the first 2 get called, you need to tell yourself, okay, I can't let anything close go by. Don't leave it in the hands of the umpire. They like doing that. Umpires like punching guys out, and so you've got to have some plate coverage there. And I'll also say as a team there, Jackson Bolender specifically, when he comes in, should be saying, hey, he's giving me this part of the plate, just so you know as a hitter that that's being consistently called. And so probably not traditionally a strike, but it has one that's been called all day long.
Cole Zimmerman's going to swing at the first pitch, swings at the second pitch, and that's going to be a hard ground ball that's going to bring in 2 runs. Both runs on second and third are going to come in. So a 1 out, 2 RBI single there from Cole Zimmerman. He's having himself a day. That's his second hit, as Wasatch takes the 6-0 lead.
Just so many little details of this game as we've got another mound visit from the coach. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change, Tyler, but little details, right? That ball that was dropped in left field from Bluth, not only did it get him a hit, but that makes the infield come in, and that ball that Zimmerman just hit if the infield's back is probably an out. So just a game of inches, where one thing goes one way and then that causes the next one to tip a different way. And Wasatch is getting the ball to bounce their way in this one so far, leading 6-0 as we get ready for a pitching change.
Yeah, we will have a pitching change. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will let you know what the Mirror Lake Station pitching change will be. Wasatch leads 6-0 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their deliveries. School outdoor clothing and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need?
Up Kelson Stocking, who has a runner on first with 1 out. Grounded out to the shortstop and struck out in his first at bat. On the mound right now for the Tooele Buffaloes will be Hendricks. He's their leading ERA guy on the year, kind of a reliever, as you mentioned, Ty, and he's going to get a called strike 1 on that outside corner to lead off the at-bat.
Yeah, he pitched yesterday for 2 innings in that win against East, only threw 18 pitches over 2 innings.
23 innings pitched on the year, and is sitting at a 0.91 ERA. Pitch is going to be swung on. It's going to be a lazy ground ball to the third baseman. Third baseman can't handle it, and another error by the Tooele infield. And Stocking is going to reach on the air. Moves runners to first and second for Bucad, who had a single in his first at bat and then reached on an error by the first baseman in his second at bat. Wasatch leads 6-0. And are flirting a little bit with that 10-run rule. If they get 4 runs in the inning, that would do it. And as far as the pitching situation goes, that would put Wasatch in a great spot. Only 51 pitches for Bolender in the game. He is easily going to be able to come back in game 1 of that series against Olympus if that were to happen in the ballgame.
Well, and that's why you throw him in game 1 today if you're Wasatch, is you want him to be ready to go on Thursday and be able to come back.
It's going to be a ground ball through the 5-6 hole. Nice single there from Bucad. Cole Zimmerman's going to try to score from second base and will do it. Second hit of the day for Bucad brings in a run as well. He reached on his second at bat as well on the air, so he's reached all 3 times in the ball game. And Wasatch now leads 7-0 with 1 out. Alex Gutierrez will come up for his 4th at bat of the game. Single, sacrifice bunt, and a walk. So 1 for 1 in the game is Alex Gutierrez, and he has runners on first and second. Craig McPhee is going to run for Kelson Stocking. He's currently at second base. Bucad at first. Last time Bucad was on first base, he was so threatening that they threw over with nobody holding him on. Brought in a run. Alex Gutierrez set in the box. Hendricks delivers, gets a called strike 1. Alex Gutierrez represents the winning run for the Wasps. 7-0 lead. If he were to score, that would make it 10-0 in the 5th, and Wasatch would get the 10-run rule. Hendricks comes set. Does not look at McPhee and delivers. It's going to be a ground ball to the third baseman. Third baseman doesn't get it in his glove again, and great hustle from Craig McPhee. And he's able to get to third base before the third baseman can recover. Back-to-back errors from the third baseman, and Wasatch has the bases loaded for Chet Wilson.
Yeah, tough day for this kid at third base, Tyler. And it actually started with the first baseman, where the third baseman made a good error, a good play, a couple innings ago, threw over a good laser, and the first baseman dropped it. And just from that time on, for whatever reason, this third baseman has had a hard time making plays. Since that original play that took place. Now Wasatch has a legitimate chance to end this thing here. 2, 3, 4 coming up. Bases loaded. You need that runner on first to score, and then this game is over.
Bases juiced, 1 out. Hendricks is going to go back to the windup. Bucad on second. Gutierrez on first. This pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Okay speed all around the base pass here for the Wasps. Craig McPhee did a good job of hustling on that last ground ball to beat the third baseman back to the bag after he wasn't able to get it into his glove. It's a 1-0 count. Chet struck out in his last at bat, walked in his second. He's going to swing at this one, still underneath it, and that moves the count to 1-1. Again, a .347 hitter on the year, had 10 RBIs during region play and scored 10 times during region play. 1-1 the count. 1 out, bases loaded. The pitch, outside corner, strike 2, moves the count to 1-2. Tooele staff's done a good job of hitting that outside corner for most of the day. Wasatch has made a good adjustment. The shortstop made 5 outs through 2 innings. 5 out of the 6 outs were made by the shortstop. Since then, the shortstop has only made 1 play. 1-2 the count. Too high, moves the count to 2-2. Jackson Bolender in the on-deck circle. Has a single on the day. Chet still looking for his first hit of this postseason. 2-2 the count. Calls for time. As Hendricks was taking his time getting the sign from the catcher. 2-2. Outfield playing pretty shallow here for Chet. The 2-2. Too far outside. Moves the count to full. Full count, 1 out. Still the bases loaded. Game 2 of the series will be on Monday at 1 o'clock. An early start because of the opportunity of there being a second game if Tooele were to come back, or whoever ends up winning this one. The payoff pitch here to Wilson. It's swung on and fouled off into the soccer field. Wasatch were to win this series, they would advance and play on Thursday and Friday. The opponent right now looks to be Olympus for the second year in a row.
Although that could change, depending on results.
Another full count pitch here. Hendricks out of the windup, pauses, now delivers. Too far outside. No, he rings him up. That's strike 3. Another strikeout for Chet with a runner on third base. And that's going to bring up Jackson Bolender with 2 outs. See if he can help himself out here. Jackson Bolender grounded out to the shortstop twice and then had a single through the 5-6 hole. So he's gone to the left side on the ground each of his at-bats. Hendricks delivers. This one's going to be swung on and is going to go foul.
This outfield for Tooele right now, Tyler, has a lot of space, a lot of gaps out there. Straight up in the outfield, if you've ever heard that term, you'd have your left field and right fielder playing even with the second base bag when you looked out at them. Each of them are in. The right fielder is probably about 45 to 60 feet inside of straight up. Left fielder is about 45 feet inside of straight up, meaning your left center gap and your right center gap are enormous right now, which is really, when you're talking strategy, is a terrible approach right now because an extra base hit wins this game for Wasatch. You walk it off there. So what you want to do is you want to play deeper and a little more straight up so you can take those doubles that can score 3 runs off the board.
1-1 count, goes with an off speed that's not close, moves the count to 2-1. Payton Swapp on deck, and if you're Tooele, you want to get out of it here. He's 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a single and an RBI in the day. He's had Tooele's number. He also hit a home run against Tooele last year. 2-1 the count with 2 outs. The pitch swung on, and that's going to be a base knock. No, goes foul. Barely foul down the right field line. That could have maybe done it, although the right fielder is playing.
That's where
down
he's
the
shaded,
line.
Tyler, so that would have been the perfect spot for him there if that's where that ball ended up.
2-2. Deuces with 2 outs. Bases still juiced. Good swing there on that last one from Bolender, trying to go the opposite way. We'll see what Hendricks decides to go with here. Shakes off the catcher. Gets the pitch. Wind up. Delivers. Too low. And the runners will be going. With the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Well, now a ball in the gap with the runners going should end this ball game. Tyler, if Bolender could hit a gap, at minimum a base hit should score 2.
Here we go. Runners take off. Bases loaded. The pitch swung on. It's driven to right center field. Nobody's getting to that one as Wasatch is going to walk it off here in the 5th inning as Jackson Bolender with a 2-out, 3 RBI double as Wasatch wins the game 10-0 in 5 innings. That's a big-time double there from Jackson Bolender with the bases loaded. Wasatch wins 10-0. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the Timberline Ace Hardware postgame show right after this.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Flooring and Paints.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the number one reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the number one reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strongest approval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Well, Wasatch gets a big victory in multiple ways. We'll dive into it here on the Timberline Ace Hardware postgame show. Timberline Ace Hardware right here in Heber City. Visit us for all your hardware needs. Come in to get your car hardware, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans at 737 South Main Street behind Panda Express, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years. Wasatch wins 10-0. But Tyler, break this one down for us on the Gordon Law Group game recap.
Well, Tyler, it was applying pressure to this Tooele team. Let me take you inning by inning here quickly. It started off a little bit slow. Each team got one hit in the first inning, but no runs. Defense really backed up the Wasps well in the early innings. And then in the second, Wasatch started chipping away. They got one run on a Crew Erickson RBI ground out, leading 1-0 after the second inning. Into the third, Bolender was mowing at that point. He had 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Into the third, Wasatch once again held Tooele scoreless, and then they got a couple hits in part by a Payton Swapp RBI single, 2 RBI single that was, that scored a couple of runs for Wasatch. Wasatch took a 3-0 lead after 3 innings of play. Into the fourth, Tooele again was shut down by Jackson Bolender, and Wasatch got an unearned run from the Buffaloes, who had a couple walks and then a couple errors in that inning. Wasatch led 4-0 after that, and then in the 5th inning, when Wasatch once again was able to hold the Buffaloes scoreless, they blew it wide open at the plate. In fact, that 5th inning action, to go through it with you, Swapp started off with a double. Jack Bluth then got a lazy fly ball double that found the Bermuda Triangle. Zimmerman had an RBI single that scored 2 runs. Kelson Stocking reached on an error. Carter Bucad then singled. Then Gutierrez reached on an error. And then Bolender walked it off with a 3 RBI double to the base of the fence in the right center gap. And Wasatch, just like that, won by mercy rule, 10-0 over Tooele. They're up 1-0 in this 3-game series. Game 2 will be on Monday at 1 p.m. If Wasatch wins there, they will advance to take on most likely Olympus, but it could be Olympus or Cottonwood, depending on what happens in the other series. And Wasatch would certainly like to get that done. If they fall in that first one on Monday, then they would have to play a Game 3.